I'm Ildiko, and this is The Secrets of Powerful Entrepreneurs, Travel, Freedom, and Money. Bonus number one, we are on day 11, and this is our bonus live interview from Yvette Ulloa. Welcome, Yvette.
Thank you so much, Ildiko. I'm so excited to be here, and hello, everyone.
I'm so excited for this interview. So let me take a couple of things out from your bio. It's amazing. You're an entrepreneur, a professional traveler, and speaker with a big passion for helping women. So you lived in 14 different countries and states. You were interviewed by Tony Robbins, and you have built a $3 billion business.
Absolutely. It's been fun, it's been growing, and it's been challenging all at the same time.
Oh my God. I cannot wait to dive into that. First of all, congratulations. And what is your gift to the world, Yvette? How would you put this together?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. And what a powerful question. And I would say for years and years and years, I would ask, what is my purpose? Why am I here on this earth? What am I meant to do with my life? Because I was working in a job, 60-hour weeks, and I was just working for somebody else and didn't feel like I had a purpose in my heart. And I believe that my gift is to help empower women to believe that they can. Because I was so insecure. I didn't think I ever had speaker material. I didn't have the friendships and the partnerships and the contacts that I would believe that would be necessary for business. And yet I grew out of those old limitations. And when I stepped into my power and I was able to help give a hand to other women that are rising up in business, help them believe in themselves, do a power session with them, it's like the floodgates opened up. Our business started growing and thriving. And, it's so true what they said, as you help people get what they want, you end up getting what you want. And so I believe that it is to build that bridge to help other women rise up.
Yes, it is all about them, right? It's not about us. And when we really communicate and connect through our hearts, the magic happens.
100%. Absolutely.
So your entrepreneur journey, I guess, well, I assume it was a roller coaster because it's never a straight going up. Can you share 3 lessons they taught you, the biggest shift? What have you overcome and what have you learned about it?
Absolutely, Ildiko. And I have to tell you, I have learned so many lessons. I will tell you that one of the strongest and most recent lessons that I had is we had a thriving business. We helped the owner of the largest private travel company in the world, which at the time it was a mom and pop shop. We were in a mall with 5 employees, 800 square foot office. And we had a dream and we partnered up. My husband and I sold everything we had to help our dear friend Wayne build this company. We moved into a 1-room apartment. We sold our house, we sold our cars, and we just basically wanted to minimize all our expenses because we were going to put our heart and soul into building this company. Year 4, the company started growing fast in Greece, in Cyprus, in many different European. Then we went to Australia, South Africa, and so our company ended up growing huge to over 1 million members and 3 billion in revenue. The biggest lesson that we got is do not put all your eggs in one basket. Do not just rely on one stream of income, because we loved travel. We still love it. Is our heart, our soul, our life. And overnight, when the pandemic hit, 95% of the memberships worldwide, it's like it turned off. And then for 10 months, we struggled to keep the company alive, but it was just not possible. So a giant, an incredible brand with raving fans pretty much died overnight because of the pandemic. So one of the biggest lessons was do not put all your eggs in one basket. Even though you may have the main basket, have other baskets, spinning as well, other plates spinning, because it was really a tragedy to see so many of our sales team, so many of our people that had invested their heart and soul. A lot of us lost a big part of our wealth and our vitality and our happiness and our joy. So that was the biggest lesson. I will tell you two other lessons that I have learned is when you have passion, you can really sell ice to an Eskimo, because it was so crazy the amount of passion that my husband and I had for helping people travel and travel at wholesale. What a cool component that was. So I remember the very first time I stood up and it was my time to sell, and I had never sold before. And I was so nervous, and my voice would just break, and I would be really high pitched, when I was nervous. And so it was my first time to do a presentation. We were in Hollywood, California. And I remember started speaking as they showed the slides, and I was like, and we're gonna do it. And I just sounded horrible. And I remember my friends walked in the door because they were gonna watch, and I dropped the clicker because I got so nervous. And my presentation that was supposed to be 30 minutes lasted 7 minutes. But still a bunch of people bought because they saw my passion and my excitement, even though I messed it all up. So don't be afraid to mess it up along the way. Don't be afraid to make the mistakes. Don't be afraid to step into your courage and into your faith, and just follow the path that God has put into your heart. And you will be blown away what happens when you stand up and you say, I want to meet my purpose eye to eye. I am ready to live my gifts. And the last learning lesson is, if you are building this with a partner or building your dream or stepping into something, be very careful, because my husband and I built this together from day one. He was a police officer. I worked for the government. We wanted to do entrepreneurship, and we dove in, and it was like, I'm a strong alpha woman and he's a strong Latino male from New York. And so we butted heads a lot. And so I really had to step back and figure out, how can we be great business partners without chopping each other down and still honor our relationship and our marriage? Because I see this all the time, that people that build something together as partners, they start falling out of their relationship. So as a big part of that, we ended up starting this whole, we call it our ministry, we call it our mission, where as we do entrepreneurship, we also teach couples and partners how to do a partnership in a way that it honors one another rather than it destroys one another. Those are my 3 lessons, Ildiko.
Oh my God, I love these. And not only that, you talked about entrepreneurship, but you touched on money. So what I heard you say, it's passion is a fuel for tapping into abundance, tapping into money. Do you have any other money-making tools?
100%. Do what you fear the most, and the death of fear is certain. At the beginning, my husband and I had to make cold calls. We were calling people that we maybe just met at the chamber, or maybe calling leads, calling our friends, and we had to go through a ton of rejection. And what started to happen is, the more we got rejected, and then we started making it a game. Because if you truly want to step into abundance, you've got to do the things that most people will never do. Most people stay in a box in their comfort zone. And so, okay, somebody said to us, you're going to have to call and connect with over 100 people. And, these are the numbers that are going to start coming in terms of people purchasing your travel membership. And I just remember being so afraid to make that first phone call. And then I got rejected. And then my brother, who I loved so much, he was one of the first people who rejected me. He told me what I was doing was stupid, and all kinds of things. And I had to really pick myself up. And so don't let people steal your dreams. As you step into abundance, as you step into money, my husband and I made little signs like, I love earning the $10,000 residual a month that we want every single month to come in. I love having paid off all my debts. We had little index cards all over the house. Our cleaning lady thought we were crazy, because you open the fridge, there's a note there. The house, there's a note. All because we were trying to unwire our brain from the scarcity that we heard growing up. I heard money doesn't grow on trees. What do you think, that I am an ATM? Oh, no, no, no. As teachers, we don't make money. You're going to be a teacher too. That's all. You're never going to be a millionaire. We don't make big money when we're, for the love of music. Those are the things I heard growing up. So I had to unwire my brain and step into the money consciousness, step into my power, step into the deserving and the abundance that I know that I deserve, and that I know that you deserve as well.
Yes, I know so many of the entrepreneurs are lit up right now because, well, you're talking to their soul, right? And let me go back to that conversation where everything just collapsed overnight when COVID hit. So that must have been a very difficult period. And with a lot of entrepreneurs, it happens that it's just not happening, or whatever you thought, it's not working. So what would be like 2 tips on that when you really hit the wall, you see your plan is not working, you get to change the plan, not the goal, right? Because the goal is success and tap into abundance, I guess, for many of us, and to serve and share our gifts. So how do you navigate that fragile period?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the biggest thing is as you are leading and you're going through a difficult time in your life, the most important thing is strong communication and authentic communication, because this is not a time to sugarcoat. This is not a time to say, hey, maybe it's going to come back, or maybe it's going to get better. Yeah, we all hoped, but the reality is, we were a couple months away from Christmas already, and the company had not come back. So we had to just be very strong in our communication, especially to our team, to the salespeople, to all the people that had put so much love. And we just had to get real about it, have real communications. And, prior to that, my husband and I are really big on training people on have 6 months to a year worth of emergency funds. So we started talking about what do you have? What do you have? And helping people get creative. And then what we started to do is we started negotiating on who is thriving during the pandemic that we can add value to, that they can take our sales teams. And so we started negotiating with a Dead Sea lotions and all kinds of creams and mud soaps, and they wanted to start a travel component. So we started negotiating with them to take our team in to have a plan B. So we had to get really fast, really good at looking what's a plan B, C, and D, so that we have options, because it wasn't for everybody to go to the Dead Sea company, but that was an option. So strong communication and starting to look at what are we not seeing? Where can we go? What's happening right now? Who's winning right now that we can, because it was a massive sales floor all over the world, and everybody was relying on their income from travel. So we had to make some fast moves during those 10 months.
Oh my God, you really were able to tap into that, like what else is possible, and just going up, what else is there? What else is there? Like spinning this in the back of your head. And this is when the universe opens up, the channels open up, and you really get to receive all those ideas. And that's a huge thing, that you got to take care of your employees. Like you really found some ways, like not dropping everything, but playing big, playing all out. And you really appreciated all their love and effort and they put in. And this was a totally outside thing you didn't have control on, and you took control. Like, what else can I do in this extreme situation?
Yes, 100%. We had to make some detours really, really fast. Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say. It's like my hat's up to you for that, because a lot of people are not doing this. And a lot of people don't go in all the way. Like it's an external thing. There's nothing I can do, but you did.
Yeah, and I just share a really funny story about that, because for 15 years we were the cool kids, How hard do you have to work to sell Hawaii at wholesale? or to send you to Greece at wholesale. So we were like, all our sales force, right? Everybody was like the cool kids. Yeah, we sell travel. It's so fun. And so we would say a little speech in our when we did presentations and we traveled to launch new countries. And we said, we don't sell lotions and potions. We sell beaches and oceans. And that was our thing. And so so then we're like, we didn't sell beaches and oceans, and now we sell lotions and potions. And we're going to go back to selling beaches and oceans. So, they say, be humble on your way up, or it will be delivered on your way down. And so now we were selling lotions and potions plus beaches and oceans. So it was a humble spirit as we went through that growth that we had to embrace selling lotions and potions, because that's who gave us a home at the time that we could, save our incomes and things like that.
Oh my God, like the entrepreneurs get to have a sense of humor, right? I mean, that's a lifesaver and life changer in this game, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let me change the subject because I want to leave about your travel stories. I know you're a huge traveler, and we actually touched on a couple of experiences you had via traveling. So can you share a bit about that?
Yes, I would tell you, before we really found entrepreneurship, we were really just trying to make ends meet. And we had some things happen financially that we were facing a bankruptcy. We didn't know how to get out of it. And, at the time we had very limited knowledge. So we had a choice, okay, to claim bankruptcy or to how do we get ourselves out of this rut? Can we become entrepreneurs? So one of the last things we won at the Chamber of Commerce when I worked at the city of Burbank was a trip to Honduras. So we're like, okay, this might be our last trip. And from here on, who knows what's going to happen, because financially we're ruined. We gave some money to a hedge fund and then they escaped to China. It was just a really bad situation. So we go to Honduras, and it was in the jungle. It was this little forest called Pico Bonito. And there were these huts in the middle of the jungle. It was an eco resort. And my husband and I went on a hike because they said there's this beautiful waterfall. And so he and I went, and we're at this waterfall, just having one of those surreal, quiet moments where it's just nature and us, see the beautiful waterfall. And we're just sitting there, just kind of quiet. And all of a sudden we see these natives come down the waterfall. And I literally went, danger, danger. They're going to attack us. Who are these? They don't have any clothes on. They had like something like just a little cloth to cover their privates. They're coming down, and they had spears, giant spears. And we're like, are they going to come after? Like, we're freaking out as city people, right? We were living in California at the time, super city people. And we're like, they're going to attack them. And they got the spears and they're coming our way. And all of a sudden we watch, and they start diving in the water, and they were spear fishing. And they were these kids, maybe in their 13, 14, 15-year-olds, and they're spear fishing and they're catching fish. And we're like watching this. And then they had some oranges that they had picked up from a tree, and they had a bag, like a little plastic bag, and they were coming down our way. And we were like, we just froze. Like, we didn't know what to say, what to do. Should we escape? Are they going to attack us? But then they seemed pretty peaceful as they came down, and they came towards us, and we're like kind of frozen. And they come and they speak in their language, and we speak Spanish, but it wasn't Spanish. It was their native language. And then we're like, no hablamos, ¿qué dices? We're trying to speak Spanish, and they're like not understanding. So they give us 3 oranges. And little Ildiko, I just like wanted to cry from the beautiful spirit and their compassion and their love to offer us these oranges. And I remember that day, my husband, there were a few of them. So he takes his hat off and he gives it to the other. Then he gives his t-shirt to the other one. He takes off his shirt and gives it to the other guy. And then he had some glasses, and so he gives it to the third guy. Well, there was one more guy left, and all he had was his shorts. I'm like, babe, no, you're not going to give it. And you're not going to come back to the town in your underwear. And so he remembered he had his tennis shoes, brand new pair of tennis shoes, Nikes, that he had bought like for $110. At the time, it was a lot of money for us, because we had jobs, we didn't have the entrepreneur hat. He gives the kid his brand new shoes. I'm like, they'll probably never wear it. They're wearing nothing. But he gives it to them, and they were like in shock. And they took the gifts and they were so excited. And as they walk away, I literally look at my husband and he has tears in his eyes. And he goes, I want to do that for the rest of our lives. Just being able to make a decision to gift somebody something. I mean, you may have very little, but that act of contribution that we exchange changed our lives forever, because that's when we decided we're going to become travel entrepreneurs. I don't care how we're going to do it. I don't care how we're going to figure it out. We're going to make money and we're going to help people in all our travels. And a funny story, Ildiko, again, how it all comes back, the law of attraction, call it God's blessings, whatever you want to call it. When we got home, and I am not kidding you, I have proof of this. His sergeant came to visit us. My husband was a police officer, and it was a Saturday. He just came to see how we were doing. We were back from our trip. Would you believe it that he said, well, Dave, you were selected as MVP in the basketball team for the Police and Fire Olympics. So they wanted to gift you with a $150 gift certificate to the Nike store. We had not told him anything.
Oh my God.
We had not told him anything. And he gave him this huge trophy and this Nike gift certificate. And it was just like, whoa, we were left there going, that was wild. And so that's what started our entrepreneur journey. And if it had not traveled, we would not have had that gift.
Oh my God, this is like so heart touching. And I can so relate to this because I met those indigenous people in the jungle of Panama.
Oh, wow.
And I know how that feels when you are taken to somebody's house for a cacao ceremony and the whole family, even the little 3-year-olds, are cleaning the cacao. And I just could not, like they letting you in their life. And oh my God, like I was crying almost. I didn't want them to see that I'm crying because it was such a touching experience for me. But I did, and especially after, like really like welcoming you and showing you everything, like this is our home, this is how we live. And yes, like people get to have these experiences because what you don't know, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Changed our lives forever.
Oh my God. So I have 2 more questions for you. I ask all my guests, how does freedom show up in Yvette's life?
Well, I would tell you, freedom for us is being able to wake up when we are done sleeping. Like, we don't do alarms. We still wake up super early, but we used to hate the alarm so much that regulated our lives. And having, a boss that would tell us when we could vacation, when we couldn't. Dave had to plan his vacations with the police department a year in advance. And if he had a change, he couldn't change it. So they owned our lives. So freedom to us is being able to make whatever decision that's not tied to time restrictions or money restrictions. Being able to bless somebody on the spur of the moment, being able to take off. And one day I said, babe, I'm so tired of this fake gelato. It's like people claim that there's a gelato here. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take you to Rome next month. And we went to Rome and he took me to the Trevi fountain and he's like, here, baby, which gelato do you want? Being able to do wild things like that, where you're just making decisions based on your heart and your mission and your purpose and your blessings, and not having somebody regulate, that is what freedom is to me.
Yes, and I love your post and I love your energy with your husband, and I see like this very intimate, deep connection, and I see the flirtiness even on your reel, like doing the pickleball yesterday on the reel. I thought it was like, yeah, it's real, it's authentic, and you're really a role model. Like even if both of you are entrepreneurs, that you can still lead the life, not bump into each other's head and go hand in hand, right?
Absolutely. It wasn't always like that. We rebuilt our marriage because we sacrificed so much for business that we almost grew apart. But thank goodness that we had some great coaches. We went to the best of the best to teach us, like, how can we be in partnership and in harmony and in love with each other still, even though we're both strong minded. And so we learned from some of the best of the best. And, we as a bonus, we do our entrepreneur journey, but we also do once a year, we do retreats to help people have extraordinary relationships with everything we learned. So that's been a blessing that came out of our struggle.
Yes. So on the top of all this, how do you flirt with life?
You know what? Spontaneous, being spontaneous and not allowing just the outside world to affect us. There's so much stuff going on right now that my husband and I have this thing where, like, we're always spontaneous. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do an adventure date today, and I'm going to take you somewhere where you don't know, and it's going to be a surprise, and I'm going to rock your world. We're going to do some fun things. We do this with our business partners. We do this with our friends. We do adventure dates. We do adventure trips. And so we're just spontaneous. And I think that's how we flirt with life, because life comes with so many rules and things of how they should be done, and be careful with this and be careful with that, that we just choose to live a free life and be spontaneous about it all. Even with our business was pretty spontaneous. And so thank goodness we're entrepreneurs, because we could not be told what to do anymore.
I totally hear you on that. So how can the audience connect with you? What is your free gift? Tell us about your business and website.
Thank you so much. So my main business is travel. Again, even though we lost it through the pandemic for 3 years, it's taking us to interview the right partners, and to this time started a lot stronger. So we still teach people how to travel for wholesale. And what I'm going to gift everybody today is I'm going to put the link, but it's warriorsandqueens.com/Yvette, YVETTE. And I'm going to give you 101 tips, travel tips, some of the best ones, from dates and times to book your flights, to some travel hacks that a lot of people don't know, because we've lived in over 14 states and countries, and we've moved around a lot. We've launched new countries for travel. We've learned so much of the behind the scenes of yield management, how the channel manager regulates the pricing of the, open door or engines like Travelocity, Expedia, while there's some websites that teach teach people how to travel at wholesale. So my free gift is the 101 travel tips, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'm just really, really excited. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Yvette Ulloa. And if you want me to add you to our Warriors and Queens community, where we teach people how to have extraordinary love, I'm happy to share that as well. So thank you so much, Ildiko, for this opportunity. And I feel so blessed to have met you. And what you're doing for women worldwide is such a big and beautiful mission. I look forward to helping you grow your group, to watch the amazing people have incredible experiences. And I'm just very, very grateful that you thought of me to include me in this beautiful summit.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Well, you are a leader, and like you just proved it right here, right now as well, that you really share your gifts, and you're coming from such a warm-hearted place and generosity that that is a role model.
Thank you so much. It's taken me some time to build the confidence and learn the leadership skills, and I'm just excited with all the new experience that the 3 years has given us, the last 3 years, to take the game to the next level and take a lot of people with us. So congratulations on your beautiful brand. I'm so excited to watch you grow and this amazing community on Facebook, and I'm grateful to start a friendship with you as well. It's been so nice to know you so far.
Yes, I feel the same way. I look forward to connecting with you on Facebook and outside of Facebook. Thank you so much, Yvette. Thank you so much for the audience, and see you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow. Take care.